Hello everyone and welcome back to Southern Wealth. I hope you guys have missed me. If you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. So I took your feedback into consideration. By the way, I took a few days off. I was in a different place, not where I'm currently standing now. And I thought, okay, let me take 3 or 4 days off and then I will start recording more consistently again. And that's basically what I've done. Now, I've taken into account your feedback. I will keep providing my political opinions, even if that means I'm shadow banned, so be it. Even if I get strikes or something, I'll just keep on doing it. I mean, worst case scenario, if I do get banned, I just create a new channel. Now I'd like to address a couple of things, starting on that front. Number one, in my view, the Treasury and the Fed will do what they can to help Harris be elected. Now, the Treasury is part of the administration. The Fed is supposed to be impartial and non-partisan. Sure. Just like you have a perfectly good example, right? Gary Gensler is supposed to be non-partisan. And don't you think it's weird that Trump announces an NFT and one day later, the SEC goes after OpenSea, which is the largest NFT marketplace? Don't you think that's just a wonderful coincidence? I mean, it's amazing. You cannot make this up. And I think there's a little bit of panic in the Democrats' side. Reason being, after almost 40 days, Kamala sat down for an interview. And basically, out of 45 minutes, they could only use 18. She got the questions beforehand. She was there with her VP. Her VP, by the way, his own brother, so Tim Walz's brother, says that he is the worst person for the job. And this is his own family. So that should tell you a lot. And she couldn't answer one single question straight. So the question would be about something. And actually the interviewee or the person from CNN was kind of spoon feeding her the answers, almost giving her like a multiple answer question. It's like, oh, did you do this because of that? Did you do this because you were looking to do that? I mean, that's not an interview. You're trying to help her to answer the questions. It was edited out, it was pre-taped, questions in advance, 40 days to prepare, another person standing there, and it was still horrible. So that tells you everything that you need to know now. The reason why the polls are so close is if any shenanigans, and you know what I'm talking about, happen, you can say, yeah, I mean, the polls predicted it, right? I mean, yeah, people were expecting it. Because I don't see any way that a person which has the lowest approval rating of any vice president in American history, and that includes Dick Cheney and Mike Pence, she has worse approval ratings than them. All the mainstream media was saying, oh, the big mistake that Biden made was to have Kamala as a VP. And all of a sudden, in 40 days, no interviews, no debates, no policies, nothing. And she becomes the number one candidate, or the likeliest candidate, after a guy who has a complete loyal following, and they tried everything against him, including a more permanent solution. And you mean to tell me that all of a sudden she exploded in popularity by doing nothing? Really? And then the funny thing is, if you go on Twitter, if you go on YouTube, if you go on any social media polls where people ask questions like, who you think is going to win the election? And this is even in Democrat and anti-Trump channels. And the percentage of answers is 65, 70% in favor of Trump. All of them. even if it's Elon Musk doing it, if it's a Republican doing it, if it's a Democrat doing it, if it's just an anti-Trump doing it, is always 65, 70, 75. So how the hell is 52, 47, 51, 40? I mean, look, sure, I mean, believe whatever you want. Now, things that we can control. Liquidity is cranking up. Liquidity will crank up because they will try to do anything to prop up the economy and the markets before the election. A while ago, I said, I made a very soft prediction that I basically took out already, which was maybe Bitcoin above 80K by second half of September. A while ago, I changed the prediction to above 80K before the end of November. I'll tell you why, because I didn't do a good job at it. I'll tell you why I said second half of September. Everybody's aware that September is Rektember, or September, right? With bear as bear market instead of burr at the end. And everybody knows that October and November are the best months in crypto. Now, the reason why I was, making like a soft prediction is because we've been front-running the cycle. This cycle has been the front-running cycle. Meme coins pumped earlier. The pump before the halving happened earlier. The halving itself happened earlier, about a month earlier as well. What else? The sell-off of Bitcoin after the halving also happened a month earlier. So basically everything seems to be front run by month. So because everybody's aware that September is terrible and October is great, I thought maybe we're gonna have another front run example, and maybe we pump a little bit earlier around the second half of September. That's why I said it. Because Q4 pumps tend to be dramatic, tend to be very, very strong. Particularly October. Look, I know that November average is a bit better, but it's heavily skewed by a 400% rise in Bitcoin back in 2013, which was basically somewhat of an anomaly, but it skews up the averages. See what I mean? So I would say October tends to be the best month, as people try to front run the election results. In any case, Q4 tends to be very good, regardless of who's elected. People forget, in the last 12 years, we had, in the last 16 years, we had 12 years of Democrats and 4 of Republicans. And crypto did amazingly well. However, this time I do think the positions that what's happening in the world, in the UK, with people retweeting posts, in France, with the arrest of Telegram CEO, in the US, with Robert F. Kennedy's censorship and basically the weaponization of the legal system against a political opponent, all of these things are quite aggressive. And I do think she's one of the most dangerous liberal people that I've seen. But hopefully, I mean, we'll see what's going to happen. I mean, to me, the most important thing for Trump to win is the crypto and the international security thing. Those two, to me, are the key. The rest is kind of nice, but that's, to me, that's the most worrisome part. And now I think one thing we should pay attention to is also going to be full year results of Amazon. I think they will end up the year with more robots than people. Now, the reason why this is so interesting is because it can be the beginning of a trend that's going to explode between now and the end of the decade that can really dramatically affect productivity as never seen before. We'll see. Very preliminary, very high hopes, potentially too much noise and not so much substance. But as you guys know, I'm a big believer in AI, particularly AI fusing with robotics. I do think that can change our paradigm between living in scarcity, as we've ever always lived as a species, into living in abundance. With that, guys, I think crypto is still gonna do well. I I think Q4 is gonna be another amazing quarter. And then when we start 2025, we need to start looking for those top signals, because I know that the bull market tends to probably will end somewhere between late Q2, Q3. But I do think with Trump, we may have another 2016/17 type of cycle. And that's what I call the super cycle. We'll see if that happens. Otherwise, we may have another 2020-2021 cycle with the Democrats in power. In any case, this mid-cycle correction should be approaching its end. From now on, which we should start going up. But do bear in mind that September, indeed, historically speaking, tends to be quite the down month, not just for crypto, but also for stocks. Look at that bond market, look at that TLT. Is it stable? Is it rising? That's the most important thing, as it will dictate the rest of the markets. And with that, I'll make a bit of a shorter video today. Thank you very much for your support. I'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And, leave me a comment if you guys want me to address any specific things. By the way, I still need to disclose all my coins at the moment. I keep on forgetting. I apologize for that. I'll try to do it over this weekend, okay? If I forget, please remind me. And with that, thank you very much for your support. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.